I saw A Christmas Crush, and Charlie, you saw 12 Dates of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was a Hallmark original film, I believe, and Charlie's, yours was an ABC original film.
Yeah,
We're
it
just
was.
hitting all of the channels for this
Yeah,
cast.
yeah. So we're gonna have to try to make those. I mean, we're going to make those sound like masterpieces. To Steve, it's his duty to try to decide.
I'm just preaching the truth.
Which is better. Find out his decision on the other side, and also in probably about an hour.
Are you ready for Movie Versus? Welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast where we pin two terrible movies in an all-out battle for the best of the worst. Here are your hosts, Tyler Lamb, Charlie Pixley, and Steve Janik. All on Movie Versus!
Hey everybody, welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast in defense of bad movies. My name is Tyler Lamb. I am one of Trace hostesses.
Just host. Too many S's on that.
And that guy who thinks he knows how to speak Spanish, which he doesn't. I do. I spoke it correctly. That is Steve Janik.
I can almost assure you did not speak it correctly.
And he is one of the other
2.5 men.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, am I one of the two, or am I the half?
Yep.
Okay.
And thanks for that clarification to Charlie Pixley, the other host. What's up, Chuck?
Well, Tyler, you're the real Chuck Lorre of this podcast.
Yeah, I really keep things together. It's weird because I play a Chuck Lorre role and a Charlie Sheen role, so I have a lot of like...
And the little kid somehow.
And so I argue
Wait,
with
does that
myself
make me the
openly.
Yes.
I argue with myself openly all the time when we're not recording.
I mean, it is because you're just that drunk.
Yeah. And I do have that tiger blood vial around my neck.
That's AIDS blood.
Yeah, well, I thought tiger blood was just the street name for AIDS.
Oh, yeah,
blood.
you're right.
I definitely did not tell you anything different.
On this podcast where we talk about movies, I swear, is Charlie saw an ABC original movie, 12 Dates of Christmas, and I saw a Hallmark original film called Christmas Crush. And Steve, you've got the questions about our movies. What do you want to know?
We'll start with Charlie. Charlie, hit me with the pitch of your movie. Sell me this movie as if I'm going to produce it for ABC Family.
Okay.
No, Disney Channel. No, we'll do it for the show.
Okay.
The channel.
HBO. Amy Smart's getting banged
By her brother.
What?
You said HBO.
Oh.
Game of Thrones is the
I
most
guess.
popular.
Yeah, that's true.
I was about
So
to
she is getting banged by her brother.
I was about to aggressively ruin some shows, unlike AMC.
I'm going to call her Amy Smart, and then the guy is Zach from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Zach is the main character.
Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Yeah, sure. I'm not saying that each time.
Okay.
So I'll say
Mark
Amy
Eaton.
Smart
MPG.
and John Gosling are in this movie.
I'd say I like Pauly G.
How many Ed Hardy t-shirts does he wear through the film?
One, and he just rips it off halfway through and proceeds to wear nothing. So this is a movie about Amy Smart, and she is in love with her ex-boyfriend, and she's set up by a blind date by her parents, and she goes on the date and kind of fucks it up, and then ends up going to the mall and getting hit over the head. Or she went to the mall beforehand and got hit over the head, went on the date, fucked it up, and then she wakes up the next day in a Groundhog's Day sort of situation. And she keeps repeating the same day over and over again. And what I like about it is that it's obviously centered around the date, and she wants to find, a new love and get over the same guy, but they really don't spend that much time on the date itself. And what I thought was interesting about it is that she ends up using almost every single day to go do something completely different and meet different people in her neighborhood and just spend time with other people, not doing anything to try and fix that day, essentially, because she thinks she's stuck. So she's like, I'm gonna go, and this is my one neighbor I've never met before. So hey, let's go grab a drink and just hang out and talk about you and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice that it wasn't just bits of, oh, here's the same shot over again, but a little different. Oh, she
Right.
wakes up, here's the same shot again, but a little
that could have
different.
gotten real tired.
Yes, so each day feels definitely different, and then it progresses from there, and each day does end up at, well, no, sometimes the date doesn't happen, but around the date time, and it just proceeds from there.
So when she says, "I think I'm falling in love with you," is
Yeah.
that after several
Yeah.
of her dates?
Yes,
I was
many.
just about to
Okay.
bring that up. I was going to say that makes that seem less weird.
And she finds out more about him, so then she can actually go and meet him at other times, which then he's weirded out by, but he learns, or she learns more and more about him and like the things that he does and what type of person he is and stuff. So that line makes a lot more sense at that time.
Right. Okay, good. I'm really glad that she's not
not
just.
fucking crazy.
I mean, I'm not the only one. They didn't really get that storyline across in the trailer, did they?
No, they did not.
Like, I
They
don't remember.
didn't, but it was something that I may have been vaguely aware of. Like, there was something about it that made me think it might be like a time loop
I gotcha.
movie. And I don't know if it's just me having watched a shit ton of like ABC Family in my life, and I just have seen more commercials than just that one about it. And it's just stuck in there somewhere, but something about it made me feel like it was a time loop. So, moving on.
And I'm pitching my movie to
Yes, pitch your movie to me,
you. Okay.
hopefully in a
You're-
way that
you're
I do not
Hallmark.
know.
You're Mr. Hallmark.
I'm Mr. Hallmark,
All right. So,
Mr. Manager.
all right.
of Hallmark.
Thank you for your time today, Mr. Hallmark.
I thought we were
really
just
appreciate
telling
it.
over.
Get out of
I
my
thought we were
office.
just telling our plots. Like I
He
didn't know
said-
we were trying to sell it.
He said
No,
pitch.
no.
He
Like
said
like
pitch
the.
earlier.
I mean, it's just the plot. Like,
Oh, okay.
Don't read too much into the
So,
pitch versus the plot.
We've got a girl down on her luck. She is trying to be a big time fashion designer, but she didn't. She hasn't reached her dreams. She's just
We saw the trailer. We know all this.
Is she living in a lonely world?
no. There's people everywhere.
Okay.
And
Is there a midnight train?
and she's down on her. She's working for a fashion designer.
Okay.
But she's doing nothing but pretty much like hemming dresses and like stuffing bras. For the
Stuffing
that's-
bras?
Yeah, that's actually
When you say
she.
Okay.
Well, no,
Yeah.
she describes herself as a bra stuffer. Like that's her job description.
Like she stuffs bras on bras that are already on people, or she pads bras.
I think they're already on. I didn't think about it. I for some reason I assumed.
It's like you can't do this yourself. stuff.
Well, no, because she is like so they put on everything and they're about to walk out and she's the person that
And she, like, makes
and,
them
and
look
so she's like, oh,
runway
no, yeah.
ready.
Okay, I gotta stuff your bra a little bit. Gotta fix this a
Gotcha.
little bit. Yeah, so it's not. Yeah,
Make
it's-
them look presentable.
Yeah,
You don't want to go walking out there with.
with non-stuffed bras.
Yes.
And
I'm trying to find a good way to describe that, and I'm
I
at a loss.
did before you.
did.
And so she hears about this high school. She's already going home for Christmas, and so and her mom's
Loser.
like, oh, you should go to your high school reunion. She's pretty much like, fuck that. Like, I don't want to go there and
So
everybody
like
be
any
like.
normal regular person.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna go there and everybody's gonna be like, wow, you ended up like nowhere near what you wanted to be and all this stuff. She ends up going because she runs into her old high school friend who they hadn't like talked to each other in 10 years. He just kind of disappeared, but then they ran into each other and it was kind
He
of like,
disappeared.
yeah.
Was he the Hollow Man?
Steve,
It was my turn.
Steve,
It was my
Steve,
turn.
We're getting there, Steve. Jesus, I thought
Grow
you said
up.
you didn't see these movies. And so he they meet up and they're like, oh, and it's kind of like one of those things they get right back to it. They're BFFs again. And she used to be a cheerleader. And we're shown that by flashbacks. And no, actually, Charlie, that finger in a circle made out of your other hand, back and forth motion that you were just making.
What?
That did not happen between them. But he clearly has feelings for her. But she was banging the football player. And she,
I
and,
thought you were
and-
gonna say the football coach, and I was like,
No.
oh,
And
just
she's-
like every other person.
and she's like, oh, he's gonna be there. I could probably like maybe get him back because she's still got a thing for him. And so she ends up.
it's only been 10 years.
It's one of those things where they kind of talk each other into going together. You know, they're like, hey, let's just go because I mean, at least we'll have each other there. And she runs.
Neither
in-
of us have dates.
she ended up being she was the cheerleader, the head cheerleader, and the head of Glee Club. and she
wears so many hats.
and Charlie, based off of the emote you just did, yes, she gave a lot of head. That's how she got the job.
Man, you're making so many baseless accusations about me.
I wish we did a video podcast.
I would like to say that I have seen none of these things that Tyler is claiming.
I do have a rabbit animation. That's right.
Imagination?
Yeah, and it's rabid. It's not, as in it's got rabies.
No. Okay.
I thought you meant like those video game little critters.
Yeah, it's those with rabies.
Oh shit!
They're raving rabid rabbits.
God. We've veered too far back.
And so she runs into her old cheerleader / Glee Club buddies, and they're like, "Oh my God, we're all successful, aren't you?" And she's like, "Yeah, I am, I swear." And then she runs into
all successful people say that for sure.
And then she runs into her old crush, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm pretty successful too. What about you?" And she's like, "Yeah, we should totally get back together." And so they're kind of doing their own.
Are any of these people married? Or are they just like all 28-year-old just looking
perfect
on the prowl?
They're all on the prowl, I guess. They don't really go into anybody's relationship status. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Are there any? Does this all take place in like the gymnasium?
No.
But I mean, like, is there a main dance or something at the reunion?
Well, I mean, it's the reunion. Like they have like it almost kind of looks like a prom setup. Like they got like a table with punch
That's
and stuff like. Yeah. They have that, but that's not the soul. There's also like flashbacks where
Have
you
either
see.
of you guys ever seen a giant bowl of punch at a school function? By the way, now that I'm thinking about it,
No,
that shit would have gotten so screwed up.
I've hardly seen a giant bowl of punch in any function. Like I can't. No, at like family Christmas stuff, there could be like a giant bowl of punch.
Because there was that cult shit I was into a few years ago, but
yeah, where everybody was drinking it at the same time.
Well, they all did.
And then Charlie just ran around and like stole their wallets.
They didn't need them anymore.
Yeah, what are they gonna do with a license?
What were they using their identity for?
Yeah, there are flashbacks, and it's all throughout the school.
To Vietnam.
Well, yeah, because she was really torn up about it. No, they were. There's like a build up to the school thing, and then all that. Anyway, so it's about her.
I like the idea of a flashback to her being torn up about it. And I'm like in her room, like, man, this sucks.
So it's about her trying to get back with her ex. Meanwhile, dude from Mean Girls is obviously into her, and those feelings are resurfacing and stuff like that. So it's something we've seen before as far as that kind of basic storyline goes.
Right.
But yeah.
Okay. All right. Charlie, take me through the most interesting date or day of this How many days are we talking? Is it really only 12?
I think so.
Okay. So take me
she
through.
is a little crazy for saying she falls in love with him.
Yeah.
It's still.
It's
still
better.
Pretty quick.
Yeah. Let me think.
That's not allowed. You're not allowed to think.
There's one. So at the beginning of each day when it cycles, like she wakes up from a mall because how it happened was she got spritzed in the face. You know, some malls do that with the perfume, and she slips and hits her head.
I was gonna say, was she a cat, and was getting up onto the table and so there with water?
Yes. And each day she goes back home to her apartment, and then that's when she kind of decides what she wants to do. But each time she passes by, I guess it's her landlord, and she's kind of just kooky old lady, and she's like, "Oh, I made this gross looking cake for you," and she gives it to her, and eventually she's like, "You know what, thanks, let me see if I can help you bake any of these." She goes in and starts talking to her, and she was kind of an interesting character, and that it wasn't just like, I'm a sweet old lady. She's like, my husband's gone.
She's
my
a Nazi war criminal.
My husbands are gone. I'm a Nazi war criminal. My kids are all grown up, so I don't really have anything to do, and that's fine. But I just like to bake, and then they get to go on and a little bit develop their characters.
Is she baking brownie swastikas?
Yes, weed brownie swastikas, bro.
All edges.
Oh, perfect. that's a pretty good brownie pan idea. But it, like,
Yeah,
to
write
give you
that
an
down. You know
example,
what? Hey, hold on. We gotta get rid of that out of this podcast.
to give you an example,
Just 4 minutes of.
there's some stuff in the movie. There are some actual good elements of humor where they could have veered into a bad spot, but they ended up going the right way. And I have some examples of this on my card. And one of them during this time was, she's like, "Hey, I know you said you don't know how to bake, but I'm gonna teach you some things." Because of course, Amy Smart ended up trying the cake, and it ended up being good. So she's like, "All right, I'm doing this, this, and this. Grab me a spatula." And Amy Smart just holds up a bunch of instruments and like, ugh, like she doesn't know what a spatula is. And the old lady is like, "What is wrong with you?" Which I thought was funny. They didn't do the thing of her just like put her hands on her hips and go, "Oh, like we got a mission
Amy.
ahead of her."
She was legitimately like,
she's like,
how do you not?
How do you not know what a spatula is? And she looked at her with some real disgust on her face, which I was a fan of. there are multiple moments like that. So I would say that was my favorite day, kind of their interactions, because she was one of the more regular occurring characters, whereas some of the other people were just neighbors or people you just see in the background.
So I mean, I'm assuming that since every day is new. Like, how do we reconcile the fact that she gets to know these people and then like doesn't know them suddenly?
Yeah, so it kind of goes into that, and she just takes it. She goes to different people, so she doesn't often repeat a lot of the things. But I think her mindset is, it doesn't matter because they're just going to forget again the next day. So I'm just going to keep learning new people,
Right.
and if it ever does get fixed, then I'll have to go through this again. But I'll know which people are worth spending my time with and which ones aren't.
All right, that's fair. Tyler.
And then they scissor.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
The cookies, dude. Christmas cookies. Shit.
Who takes scissors to Christmas cookies?
I don't know, man.
Well,
Those
you
little
gotta
fancy edge ones. that
you gotta
cut
split them.
construction paper
You gotta
with.
split them evenly for the children. Otherwise, they will be very upset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they'll still be upset because they got half a fucking tree.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'll go back. And my scissor cookie thing is too crazy. Let's go back to the swastika brownie.
Which are easy because you just like break off the arms. So Tyler,
Yes.
tell me about the crew. The crew of this girl when she
What
goes
was
back
the video?
home.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the video game, The Crew.
No, no, I was talking about the J. Crew ad that you got this weekend.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, the jeans are
No,
just-
tell me about her
Real
friends.
blue.
yeah.
Tell me about these friends that are success. Like basically what appears to be the mean girls of this film.
No, yeah, they're all pretty much bitches. Like like your stereotypical.
Sorry.
Like I mean, when a movie is like, hey, these people aren't.
These
good.
people are mean
Bitches.
people.
Yeah,
And, like
yeah.
we will. In case you were wondering, we will give these people no redeeming qualities.
Yeah, they're very judgmental. At least the like quote unquote leader of the pack is pretty judgmental and is like,
Man, she was holding that severed head.
yeah, and she just kept like kicking it around and
Real disrespectful.
but she the other two still kind of like the main character that we're following around. Rachel is her actress's name. I can't remember the character name off the top of my head.
Dull.
Yeah, her character's name was Dolza, and Georgia is her name. That's right, because her name's Georgia Hunt, and I kept on going, is a cunt.
All right.
And I was like, they had to have said that in high school. You're telling me that not a
So
single
if
Wait,
person.
so the
G
mean.
Hunt would just be Gunt.
The-
Which is
Yeah.
another thing.
Wait.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Wait,
like,
the mean girl is Georgia.
no, Georgia's the main character.
Okay.
And they said her full name enough that I was like, these writers knew what they were doing. But she wasn't, by the way. She was a nice woman, a nice person. But the mean girls were mean girls, and it was kind of, they were more focused on like the whole Glee stuff because they were doing performances. Like they had a few.
I recall.
And they got really butthurt when she wasn't showing up for their
Rehearsal?
it was like a little quick rehearsal before their final one, just to kind of like go over, hey, this is what we're doing.
Are they singing? Are they singing Santa Baby?
No, they don't sing Santa Baby.
Thank God.
They sing all original songs.
Even better.
And the main one is more focused on the whole like success stuff. Like she's very, like I said earlier, she's very judgmental, and the other ones are just followers who, when the main one's like we're gonna kick Georgia out, they're kind of like, oh man, like I miss Georgia, like I don't want Georgia to not be in this. And,
Georgia's on my mind.
yeah. And
we've been separated for 10 years, and we need to be back together.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's they're not really like intricate to the plot, other than being a antagonist to
Georgia.
Yeah,
to Georgia.
yeah.
Okay, so then tell me about the like what's the big thing that's happening that she came home for? That's.
I mean, mainly it's to get back with that dude.
Oh, just to get back with the dude.
That's her main. That is her goal.
Oh,
is to
okay.
That is
All right.
Is to get back with him. Because she's been single for however long and can't find a guy, and she loved him a lot, and yeah, stuff like that.
All right. So, Charlie, tell me about the dates. The actual dates, not just the days, the nights.
It takes place 12 days before Christmas. So, during the first date, she's only taking this blind date kind of to get her parents to just get off her back about like, hey, we know this guy, you think blah, blah, blah.
How many dates until she shows up completely nude?
One.
Okay.
She just tries that out on the second date.
Yeah.
She's like, F it.
She doesn't ever do that. It is still an ABC family movie.
I feel like that's a classic.
An ABC making family movies.
For normal movies.
a classic Groundhog Day thing.
Yes. But this ain't your classic Groundhog
This
Day.
ain't
This is
your
innovative.
This ain't your Poppy's Groundhog Day.
Pappy's.
No, Poppy. I'm back on the Spanish kick.
Okay. This ain't your iPoppy's Groundhog Day. All right. So the first date, she's waiting for a call from this guy because they're still in touch, her ex-boyfriend and her, but he's moved on, and she's like, hey, I just wanted to see you around the holidays, blah, blah, blah. I got something for you, just, nothing big. I just thought, I saw something, instantly thought of you, and he's like, okay, even though that's weird. And it's like, I don't
Wait,
really...
how long have they not been together? Do they mention?
A couple of years, I think.
A couple of... Okay, yeah, carry on.
Yeah. So she goes to the first date, and the guy's cool and all, but the date isn't perfect right off the bat, which is kind of neat because he's like, hey, I ordered you a beer. I was just waiting. I hope you don't mind. I don't drink lagers. It's like, well, I mean, we could get you something darker, a little different. She's like, oh, I just don't like beer.
Huh.
And
Well,
she-
I thought she was
like-
gonna say,
Would you like anything?
I thought you were gonna say she's like, yes, I would love something darker.
And then just look longingly at another man in the bar.
preferably whatever Mario Lopez's character's name is. That's what I would have said.
Is Mario Lopez a character?
No.
Oh, I mean,
Oh, okay.
no, Steve, he
He's
is
a
a character.
I meant in this movie because I would love that reunion.
So Zach from Saved by the Bell's character, he's not playing
Pauly
any
G.
fucking games.
Oh,
So
okay.
she gets a call. She's like, hey, I'm
Wait,
waiting for
how often does he use a cell phone that is the size of his own
He
head?
doesn't use the cell phone at all, and he gets
Classic
pissed when
Pauly
she
G.
does. Because they get on the date, and she's like, hey, I might have to take an important call. I hope you don't mind. He's very cool about it. He's like, yeah, I totally understand that. No big deal. And then she gets the call. She gets overly excited about it, of course, because she still wants to get back with the ex. He's like, that's a little odd, and she hears him talking like, oh, when can I meet you? It's been so long since I've seen you. I'm so excited, blah, blah, blah.
And so,
he
of
goes,
course,
who
he's like,
is
well,
that?
fuck this.
She's like, that's my ex-boyfriend. I'm going to meet up with him later. Can you just meet me at my parents' house? Because he knows her parents from
Right.
just some other function. And he goes, no. And he just gets up and leaves. She's like, what? I'm still going to see you later, right? And he just doesn't say anything and keeps going. So the dates start off a little rocky, but then...
You know what? I appreciate that. That's a reasonable response to what's going on
And it
here.
happens a couple times, too, because the classic mishap of she goes earlier on to the date and
to try
which
and
is
like
kinda
fix it, and then it always just ends up still
Well, not
happening.
to fix it. She just goes in a little bit earlier to try to talk to him without it being under the presumption of a date. So let's say they're supposed to meet at the bar at 6. She goes in at 5 as just a random lady, or whenever he got there, maybe
Right.
30 minutes beforehand. Just like, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, are you so-and-so? She's like, no, I'm just... While he's waiting at the bar, she just sits next to him like a random person would at a bar. Not at a table or anything. And gets to know him that way. So it's kind of a way to get to know him without like the facade of first date.
And
we
then-
got to be all prepped and ready.
And then she's also in that like this is gonna end, and then I can just use this information later and like make a good impression the next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which she learns. This was one of the later on dates, but she learned somehow that
How
he
to
had
ice-
a wife,
how
but
to
his
chainsaw ice
wife
sculpt.
had died the previous year,
Oh my god.
and then
And so she
felt like
digs up she finds out where her grave is and digs up her corpse and does a weekend at Bernie's with her for the date.
and
I'm your wife.
it was kind of funny that when she's like, "How did she pass?" and she's like, "She was putting up decorations and she just slipped off the ladder and fell." And she said, and he's like, "It wasn't anything glorious. It wasn't any Lifetime movie death." Like,
And then he looks at the screen.
but it's like, I mean, it was just one of those things that just sucks dick and happens, and it's terrible, and your life has changed forever. And I mean,
And she's
I'm
like,
trying to move on.
I need to take this call.
Who is that? It's my ex-boyfriend.
So, let's see. Then as she gets to learn more and more about him, she learns that he coaches a hockey team for some local kids and everything like that because he used to play hockey in college. So she goes and meets him there one time, all under the guise of like she has to think of a different way to justify her meeting him there. So she's like, "Oh, my mom told me that you did this, so I figured I'd just meet you early here." Blah blah blah. And a lot of the times he's like, "That's kind of
Crazy.
fucking weird." Because again, you have to remember this is his first time meeting her every single time. So one of the other times she goes and hangs out with one of her friends, and they end up just jumping up and down on the couch. It is so fucking weird looking to see two adults doing that, just blasting their mouths full and gushing out with Tyler, your face, like waiting for what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, trying to.
Whipped cream,
Yes.
easy cheese.
Yes, no, oh god, that'd be even more disgusting. But whipped cream, just like, and the parents stop by and they're like, "Hey, we let ourselves in because we knocked and nobody heard."
And by
we
that
thought
by that time, they already had chocolate syrup all over them.
they were pretty filthy
They were wearing whipped cream bikinis.
with bananas sticking out between
and little cherries on the nips.
and chocolate shavings on their butt.
Charlie just gave a shrug after his own joke.
So, but he's with them. He's with the parents then. So that's another time where he meets her. Like, ugh, because she looks like shit right then. Because she's all covered in shit. Wow, I have so many great word choices here. So there are lots of different opportunities for her to meet him, and each time they still end up working it out, and it ends up going well and going smoothly for the most part. So there's a variety of different places. I think they're only in the bar like 3 or 4 of them. And then
Okay.
it's always something different, which is kind of nice.
All right. Tyler,
Yes, Steve.
how does the falling out with the old beau work? Because I'm assuming if this movie plays out the way I think it does, is she's really trying to get with her old boyfriend, and then something happen. Like, does something happen that she no longer wants to be with him, or does just something happen
Well-
with the other guy that she wants to be with him?
First things first. If I learned anything from Alicia Keys and Usher, it's pronounced boo.
Okay.
I thought it was Kelly Rowland in that.
And Nelly?
Yeah.
What? The my boo.
Oh no, I'm thinking.
My
No, I'm thinking
my,
about- No matter what you do, all I
Yeah.
can think about is you. Boo.
Oh. Well, now we gotta.
Well, sorry,
Give
I'm
it a
from
second.
St. Louis.
The,
so,
the Nelly "I Love You" song.
yeah.
Even when I'm with my boo, all I think about is you.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
You remembered even more.
Hold on.
yeah, because they're like on a side. She's like texting him on like a sidekick.
Yeah, in a Microsoft Excel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
one of the
I
best
was right. There
dank
is a
memes.
Usher Alicia Keys song called "My Boo."
That
Yeah,
was
we weren't
that was
down
not
on
on the
that.
table.
Hold on. Who is it? Nelly and who?
Kelly Rowland.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the name of it?
Is it all I can think about is you?
I think it's like "I Need You."
Yeah.
Or
I need you like. I don't know anymore.
No,
that song.
it was just like Kelly Rowland like hanging on.
Oh yeah, I remember because
Steve
we saw them perform that. We saw Nelly perform that live.
Yeah, with that girl on her birthday, and it was kind of
It
weird.
was really fucking creepy.
Yeah.
It's called Dilemma.
What
it's
birthday
got a
was it for this
subtitle, though, I
girl?
think, in parentheses sometimes.
Yeah, Dilemma parentheses featuring Kelly Rowland in parentheses.
You're right.
Well, no, there's another Kelly Rowland song called "Gone." I don't know if that's
Probably not that one. I mean, because the dilemma is like it's basically
It's from Nellyville, so I would assume
Well,
that's the
and
one you
it's-
guys are talking about.
It's also the
Yeah.
R&B/rap version of Picture.
Yeah, what are you talking about? That's the R. Picture is the R&B and rap version of Picture.
I think it's
Did you
more
not-
RNG, dude.
What does the G stand for?
Rhythm and Gangsta. Snoop
Okay,
Dogg's.
I thought so. I was just making sure.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's Kid Rock.
Yeah. Anyway, what was the question?
The question was how does she switch from being in like wanting to go after her old boyfriend
Oh.
to seeing her old friend
Yeah.
in a new light?
Well, I mean, throughout the whole movie, there's it's kind of one of those things where you're just like, if you were that guy, there are nothing but signals, or not signals.
For the old boyfriend?
Well, no, to him, like the friend.
Okay.
Like she's throwing nothing but like false flags because she like it feels so painfully obvious. Like if you were him, you'd be like, "Hey, this chick's into me." Like even stuff like grabbing him by the hand and be like, "Come on, let's go."
She
And it's
spilled
like
a drink on his crotch 3 times.
and washed it up with her mouth.
4 times.
But
That's more than the
but, like-
oh.
But I mean, like, my girlfriend doesn't even grab me by the hand and go, "Let's go." Like, I feel like that's a pretty, leading him on, like, stuff like that
Depending
would
on
go
the
on.
situation, I'd be pretty off put by that, I think, actually.
Yeah, and like them singing a duet together and being like real close in their faces and stuff
Picture.
like that. Yeah. But then she kind of, it's one of those weird things. She basically remembers how much of a piece of shit the guy she's been like fawning over is, and then she's kind of like, wait, this guy actually is kind of a piece of shit, and the dude that I've been like best friends with is like all the best memories that I've had in high school were with him, and like even now they're awesome. It's like, she's like, what the fuck
Wow,
am I?
some nerd writer got their friggin' rocks off like crazy writing that.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird. There's a splotch in the script, and there are pages stuck together.
Wait. So when you ordered
It's gonna
this
treat
movie
you
on
like a real lady.
So when you ordered this movie on Apple TV, you received a copy of the script?
No, it was really weird. They just said, this thing came up on the screen that said, this page wasn't filmed because the pages
video.
were stuck together. And sometimes they just broke up their dialogue.
I was hoping that you would say, like, as the movie played, like in the corner, it was just a page for page script reading.
The whole movie was just a table read.
And at some point, one of them was like, "Hey, what's wrong with my script?" And everyone was like, "Mine's got that too."
Why do
guy in the
all of
corner-
the copies?
The guy in the corner just sinks lower and lower into his seat.
But yeah, so it's one of those scenarios.
Exactly one of those.
All right. Okay.
Everything we just said, it's one of those. You know when. One of those.
All right. We're going to the goofy. So
God, I get tired of talking about the same thing all the time.
we're going to the goofy. So Charlie, you actually have a little moment here. So get ready. Tyler, we're gonna start with you.
And if I'm known for one thing, it's my quick wit, so this should
Yes.
be easy.
Yes.
You were supposed to save that for
I
after he
know.
tells you.
As I was saying, I was like, damn it, I'm not stalling for anybody.
So you've pitched the movie to me, Senior Hallmark,
Yes, and you kicked me out right away.
but somehow
Begging
this,
at your doorstep.
so-
asking to be
somehow
let
this
back in.
movie got made. Now it's time to promote your film.
Well, I mean, I hope.
Hold
that
on.
Okay.
And the promotion is a snow globe. What are you putting in this snow globe to make me want to
What
watch
do
your
you
movie?
mean the promotion is a snow globe?
So like it will be a promotional snow globe. So it will be a snow globe for the movie, a scene, some moment, something from the movie.
like that people can actually buy?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What's the liquid? What are the bits?
What's
What
the
are the bits?
liquid?
What's the scene? I think we know what the liquid is, Charlie.
It's
I had
tears.
something different in mind. But okay.
No, so the scene is gonna be it's gonna be the Glee Club performing their final song with the main
With Kid Rock.
character, yeah, with Georgia on stage performing and everybody's watching. It's gonna be that scene. You guys know, you saw it in the trailer, and it's gonna be like just confetti falling down.
Just regular old confetti.
Yeah, it's not gonna be snow. It's gonna be a confetti.
So
globe.
multicolored.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then as said before, it's just gonna be tears that are filled. No. It's gonna be punch. It's gonna be filled with punch.
Oh, man.
Actually, no. I
You're not
retract.
gonna be able to see shit.
I retract.
It's gonna
No,
be delicious when you
I've got
crack
a second,
that shit open.
I've got a second snow globe. The second snow
Ooh.
globe I have is
A pair of snow globes. Twist.
At her at the punch table where a football is going into the punch and the punch is starting to spill all over her dress and she's like,
Yeah, she probably looks so
and her
stupid.
and her ex-boyfriend and his friends are like high-fiving each other.
Man, that would be fucking rude, but that would be pretty funny to see somebody do that shit.
Yeah.
One
I'm
of
not
the
above that, laughing at that initially.
Well, no, it's like the whole when it rains and the puddle forms up on the side of the road, and then like you drive somebody's walking on the sidewalk and you drive in the puddle and they get splashed. Like it's happened to me before, and I was like pissed about it. But then like you think about it, and you're like, yeah, that's pretty fucking funny.
But like that whole football scenario, that's just another reason why you don't see like a punch bowl in the wild. You're just like, this is just another of the many reasons why we just don't do this.
And because drugs.
Drugs, alcohol, just like
Are all
bugs
way better than punch.
and like bugs and shit. Like it's just gonna be gross.
Yes. I didn't even think about that.
What kind of
Let's
punch are you
increase
making,
the surface area as much as
what
possible.
kind of punch are you making that there's bugs, shit, drugs, and alcohol all in it?
The best kind of punch.
Yeah, invite me over.
You know I won't.
Donkey punch. Wow.
All right, we're shutting down the podcast.
We've reached
That's it.
the zenith.
It was fun. It was fun. It was fun.
All right,
while it
now
lasted.
let's all do it, guys.
Drink that punch we were talking about.
All right, Charlie. Same question.
All right. So I would set mine up. I would try to do it in 11 divisions, but you just wouldn't have space for that, so I'd do 4. I only want to do 1 snow globe. It's filled with a really, really light colored beer, so you can still see everything, because he orders it for her a couple times throughout the movie, and it's kind of a recurring thing. And the little things that are floating down through the air would be spatulas and head wound bandages. And it would be 4 divisions. One would be her waking up in bed with a little alarm clock that then keeps just changing from 11:59 to midnight, and then back to 11:59 and midnight. The next one would be her slipping at the mall to indicate the bed would be the end of the day. The first one would be her slipping at the mall. The second one would be her sitting at the bar talking with the guy, like meeting him for the first time. And then the third one would probably be a moment they share towards the end of the movie. We find out that he's a parkitect, which I didn't know is a real thing.
He's a what?
Parkitect.
I'm
he
guessing
says that
an
jokingly,
architect for parks.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think they actually called him that, but he said that's
I mean, it's more efficient when you work in the parkitect industry.
true.
You got to be as efficient and quick as possible.
Yeah, that's
'Cause-
true. That open land isn't going to not do anything to itself.
Exactly.
So the last one.
I'm sorry. I like that joke way more than probably anybody that's listening out did.
Especially all the parkitects.
They are like,
they're just
"No,
nodding in
son of a
agreement.
bitch.
They're all,
Parks are very
they're,
cool.
they're all
I like
nodding
them.
in agreement. They're going, yes, it's not.
And the last one would be them in the park together, because she learns over time that that's what he does, so she goes to this park ahead of time and like lights up this whole tree. And that's towards the end when she's really starting to play her hand a little bit, that she knows more than she's letting on. He's kind of weirded out, but it's still cool because it's all positive things and none of it's really overly creepy.
Yeah,
But,
like maybe she just talked to her parents about him.
What kind of
Yeah.
skill do you need to be a parkitect? not to
It
offend
depends on if you
any-
have to do like actual land moving.
Okay,
because
because I was just thinking like you
It's
have
more
this-
topography,
They're just
Tyler.
like trees. So this square
Well,
will add trees and
were-
a sidewalk going around it.
There was big like sculptures and stuff like
Okay.
that kids can play on and
Okay, I got you.
that kind of thing.
But I mean, we've all been to parks that are just
Mhm.
like pretty much a big square grass plot of land.
Yes.
No, yeah,
it's
I've-
just designated land that people
and
can't
that park
put shit
and that
on.
architect got paid.
And he's just at home with a cigar. Like,
Yeah, but joke's on him. They paid him in tokens to get into the park.
Oh no. I was gonna say
I've
jokes
been
on
had.
them. They paid him in Bitcoin back when it was $20 a Bitcoin.
oh man.
So I would do those 4 sections so you see like her progress throughout the story, but also the day. And each one would have little interactive things. So the first one would have the clock flipping back and forth. What did I say? The first one was the mall going, so it'd have her little thing falling back and forth. Then the bar would probably have the little beers have some sort of like a little bubble effect in them, and then the park one would have the lights that she puts up on the tree go on and off.
Okay, so like in this one version, it's large and then it's like sectioned off so that like
and
none
the
of them can
backdrop
get
is
in.
like the backdrop of the bar, the backdrop
Gotcha.
of the mall, and
No,
stuff.
no, I see where you're going with this. Okay, so we're
Actually, you did a real answer.
Yeah, I know. I fucking hate
I know,
you,
I know.
dude.
Like usually, I was waiting for it to just go off the rails.
When you got to a point like when you were talking about how it's sectioned off, and like right as you were saying that, I was like, oh, I should have done it sectioned off multiple. And then I was like, God fucking damn it. And then you said the spatulas, and I was like, I should have said fucking footballs. Yeah, the regrets, dude. Can I just list all of them in my life?
it'd be a more interesting podcast. So carry on,
I don't think it would be.
because it's over. No regrets.
Oh, I was gonna say, people have seen pictures of me. I think they can list my regrets.
No, they can only list your parents.
So Steve, yeah,
Okay.
what's up next?
We're closing on the end.
Yeah,
So
good.
Tyler, favorite heartwarming moment of this movie.
There's a scene. The scene basically when she realizes that that she's a fucking idiot and she should like give a chance to the dude from Mean Girls.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty heartwarming scene because he was at the point where he was like, okay, fuck this, like, because you find out he moved away for like the past 10 years
To get over her. Please tell me it was to get over her.
Yeah, pretty much. He like went out of country.
Okay.
Like right when they graduated, he was like, yeah, fuck this, like. I can't, like, he's like, I can't handle being around like this area, and he's like, I just need to go somewhere and kind of, and then when he came back, and then he goes to this thing, it's all
sleeper cell.
yeah, exactly. He was like, while I was out, when I was overseas, I met this group, and they had some really interesting ideas.
Sick beers.
So he's like, fuck this, I'm leaving, like. I knew this was stupid of me to do, and then she kind of like catches him. And she's like, "Wait, no, come on, let's go back." And he was, and she like does this whole speech, and he's just like, "No, I'm not gonna go back." He's like, "No, fuck, like, still fuck this, like you're not." And then eventually she's able to be like, "Okay, yeah, I'm an idiot, like, but we're like, do this for me at least, like." And he's like, "Okay, yeah," and they go back and they have more fun, and because she realizes in a flashback. She remembers how, like, I guess she was too naive before, because earlier in the movie somebody's like, didn't he cheat on you? And she's like, I mean, I don't know.
It was only light cheating.
Like, it was just kind of, there was no confirmation, but then you see what actually happened, and on prom night, like, he walked out of a room, and then, like, later another girl walked out of the same room, and she's like, what? But I guess, like, she was too caught up in like trying to get back with somebody because she had been single, I guess, that she just kind of glossed over that. But yeah, I would say that moment when she's just like, yeah, no, I'm an idiot. Let's fucking do this shit. And then she just stripped off her clothes and cleaned off his pants one last time.
Charlie, heartwarming moment in your movie. In your ABC Family movie.
Okay. Mine is a little weird. So this is the time where she finds him at the hockey rink when he's coaching these kids. And they're probably middle school, early high school. And while he's getting ready somewhere else, he's like, oh, let me grab my stuff. Excuse me. One of the kids is like, hey, the coach is a good guy. You know, he's done all this stuff
Don't
for us.
hurt
Really.
him.
Yeah, yes. So he does do that. She's like, "Oh, that's so sweet that he does this for you guys." And he goes, "Yeah. So you better be something special, and I'm not playing around. If you hurt him, I'll kill you."
Jesus Christ.
Wait, does he really say that?
Yeah, dead straight face that made me so proud. And she's like, and he just deadpans and then leaves the room, like holding his ice
I was
skate.
gonna say, like he turns to the camera, deadpan, and then turns back to her, and then does a finger across the throat motion, and then just walks away.
I was laughing my ass off though, and it
And
was
then-
heartwarming because he
and then
does
as-
damn sure care about that coach. But he was, I will kill you.
And then as he was walking away, he stops, turns around, and spits at her, and then continues.
Holy crap, that's intense.
Check your brakes.
I'm kidding.
Every day from here on out.
I'm kidding. Don't.
Well, he said don't.
He said he was kidding.
Okay, so
So
Any
that's real heartwarming.
Charlie, why don't you hit me with your final thoughts? Give me anything that you have left in the tank.
So the main things I did like I kind of explained in the beginning, that each day had its own thing, and that Groundhog Day, that had its own day, but it had a lot of they had to do this, and this. Whereas this, I like that some days totally veered off and didn't end the same way, other than ending in her waking up again, but
Right.
drastically different situations and different locations, and that I also like too. I should have brought this up earlier. She catches on almost immediately as to what's happening. Like, oh shit,
She says, "Oh man, I'm Groundhog Dang."
almost. The first day she thinks it's a dream. Then when it happens the second day, she's like, something is clearly fucked up in the universe that I keep reliving the same day. And they don't dwell on the thing with the friend. No, but in every movie like that, the friend, it's like, you're going crazy. And they're like, no,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
this happens.
Oh yeah.
She goes, look, this happens. And that thing happens. It's like some guy slipping on the sidewalk. And the friend is like, okay, that doesn't mean anything. And she eventually just goes, whatever. Like, I'm not even going to bother trying to explain to her. So I kind of like that. She's not like, no, I got to prove it to you. She clearly is thinking, no way any motherfucker is going to believe this
It's
shit.
it's a waste of my time.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not even, yep, okay, yep, you're right, I'm crazy. And let's move on and just go do something else. So I like that she was very active in the movie.
She was a very lucid dreamer.
Yeah, she was definitely lucid, but just kind of self-aware of what was going on, which is nice when it happens earlier on. Then how many times can they relive this day before they're like, oh, I guess this is what's happening? If you get one.
Well, to be fair, it is a ABC Family movie, so they really gotta make it. They're on a time limit.
Yeah, I mean, it's still an hour and a half long, but
Fair enough.
do you want me to get into some of the funny things that I saw?
Yeah, hit me.
So there's another moment where she's at the baking with the lady, and she hands like, oh, my secret ingredient is this honey, and she hands her the honey, and she opens up the jar, and she
All right,
goes,
so Steve, what do you think is in the jar? What do you think the secret ingredient is?
Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Whoa. Damn, that's a big jar.
Not that big.
oh, crap, now I'm trying to remember how it happens. I laughed. It was something
I
that
thought-
It was-
she tries to get a deep smell of this honey in, and the lady is like, you can't smell honey. Which I think you can a little bit, but she's
Yeah, I mean, you
in
can
the,
smell the sweetness of it.
You
at
can
least,
a
like
little
the-
bit, but it's not like a super
It's not a real
strong
aromatic
smell. Yeah,
sort of
but she's
substance.
sitting there just huffing this, and that lady, this is the same lady in the old lady's mind that doesn't know what the fuck a spatula is. Just see her in the jar.
Yeah.
I thought was pretty humorous. Let's see.
You start seeing like a little strand of honey like coming up. She's whipping it so hard.
It's spiraling upward at her.
In the beginning, she's at a Christmas party for her company. She just works for a magazine, I believe. They don't spend much time there. But she goes up and they're
How does an
playing...
inanimate object tell her what to do? Am I right, guys? I mean, her boss is a magazine. All right, I'm at an open mic
But
night.
this magazine has this button underneath his desk. It's crazy.
It locks all the doors.
Wow.
And Steve, Never mind.
So she wins a Nicholas Sparks book in the Secret Santa, and she brings it up to this guy, and she's like, does anybody like Nicholas Sparks? I've never read any of his books. And this one guy who's played off to be the annoying guy in the office goes like, oh yeah, he's a great writer. You know, he really is in touch with emotions of both men and women. He just has a way with words and stuff. She goes, really? You like him? He goes, no, he sucks. Those books are trash. Which was kind of funny, too, because Nicholas Sparks' books seemed like the exact thing ABC family movies would be about. And for them to shit on him within the first probably 3 minutes of the movie was right up my alley. And it set the tone of like, okay, they have a lot of shitty family jokes, but a fair amount of actual good ones. Like, they got to put in the crappy ones because it's an ABC family movie. But they definitely started, it seems like they've started pumping in more ones for, I don't want to say normal people.
The husband.
You're not, yes. Yes, and he would probably, like high five.
I was about to say, guys, aren't you tired of all these wife jokes? Am I right, boys?
I'm tired of all these Nicholas Sparks movies. He sucks. Yeah! I feel you.
This is essentially that movie, but I am okay with it now.
I told you, honey. Except The Notebook is a good movie. I will be on.
I haven't seen it, so.
The Notebook is good.
Yeah. Let's see.
He wrote her every day for
she
an
does
entire
buy
year.
a homeless person a fur coat.
Oh, okay. That pause.
She buys a homeless person.
Started to be a little too long.
She does. Buy a homeless person a fur coat, which I thought was kind of funny because it's like that person's gonna get jumped by the other homeless people,
or just blood pouring on him by PETA.
That's extra warm.
Poor piece of shit.
And then he gets jumped.
Yeah, by PETA still.
No, he gets.
Well, they're also homeless.
So I just liked a fair amount of the humor throughout it, and it went by very quickly. I mean, it really did. Great. It was only an hour and a half, but it really zipped by. So
okay.
And I liked the other shit I said. You heard me.
Yeah.
Could you
Tyler,
repeat it all, please? I missed it.
Tyler, bring it home.
Yeah. So this movie had we're going real thoughts.
Well, no, not real thoughts.
Not
Final
real thoughts. Yeah, final thoughts. Sorry, I misspoke.
Just anything you got laying around.
Yeah, that's why I got them mixed up.
Yeah, anything that you got left.
Sorry, a little bile just came up.
Neat.
I'm kidding. What am I? No, final thoughts. This movie had like 5 actual like original music pieces.
Oh, I thought it had 5 decent seconds.
No. And all the music pieces were actually like pretty good. I mean, for a Hallmark movie, you would expect like something terrible, but it wasn't bad. It was actually kind of catchy, you know. And the main character, she had a pretty good voice actually, so it wasn't like terrible to like have to hear her sing constantly.
Well, could you sing us one of the songs?
I only saw it once. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Serenade me.
Okay, last Christmas.
No, you said it was original.
I went to my high school reunion and met my boyfriend.
All right, I'm done. I'm done with the serenade. Move it along.
And shit, I like forget all the and the main character was likable, and like it wasn't one of those. I feel like I just saw a movie recently where the Bad Moms, like it wasn't like one of those where everybody was just kind of a piece of shit across the board. The main character was actually pretty likable, and so was her friend. It had some of like those stupid little like jokes, like when the guy threw the football and like the high fives around, and they had like a bunch of flashbacks during the movie, which was kind of interesting because it told like the story of them in high school while like the reunion was going on. So it's like something would happen and then they would be like, or something would begin to happen and then they kind of like go back and set up like this kind of thing, or something would happen and you'd be like, what the fuck was that about? And it'd do flashback and you'd be like, oh,
Family Guy style.
Yeah,
remember that time?
They would, yeah. They'd be like, hey, let's go eat, and they'd be like, oh, eating? It's like that one time where you were trying to get out of your car
when James Woods did whatever.
And yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it was actually like it was surprisingly well made for a Hallmark. I don't think I've ever seen a Hallmark original
quality
movie
did
or a
look
Lifetime original movie, and it was actually entertaining, and it was about an hour and a half as well.
I mean, you've seen Eraserhead.
Yeah, it's
a Hallmark family film.
Yeah, I thought that was oh, god damn it! I can't think of the name of the channel, the LGBT channel, the one with RuPaul Drag Race on it, and like a bunch of other shows.
I don't know.
Oh man,
I know. I mean,
Fox Business Network.
Yeah, that's it.
MSNBC.
Yeah, because then that one dude talking about what you should invest your money in comes on. Kramer, isn't that his name?
Jim Kramer.
Jim Kramer. Yeah. But damn it, I can't.
The only reason you know that is because the investing in the memes. Oh no, also Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Development.
So before I go on, Tyler, what is it about that teacher that all those girls want to bang him?
I mean, honestly, I just think he's hot.
Oh, okay.
And really, it's just the one. Like, they all talk about how they want to bang him, but only the one is actually like on a quest to bang him.
Oh, okay.
And she ends, yeah, and she finds her sword at the end of her quest.
She pulls it.
She does, yeah, she does, and it's a funny little because like while she's like seducing him, I think they're in the principal's office, and the little like intercom thing is on. And so
oh no!
Like, what?
And he gets up afterwards and just grabs his clothes and walks away and just goes C-. Never talks to her again.
Okay, so Tyler, I gotta say you definitely put yourself back in the race there at the end. It was going
with the principals.
No, not that. I'm talking about like
logo.
Right before that.
Logo is the name of the channel that I was thinking of. So my joke would have been great if I would have said
that
Eraserhead was a Logo original movie.
Wow.
So progressive.
Well, now that we've circled back around to that joke.
Yeah, I know. I had to know. So
no,
sorry, finish your.
No. I was gonna say that the part that you said where they added in the flashbacks as they like set up like scenarios. I thought that really brought me back into interest in your movie. Okay. Like everything else was it was okay but pretty standard. Yeah. And that kind of brought me back in. But
you felt like you had seen all of it, all it had to offer in that 2.5 minute trailer we watched.
Right. It was exhaustively long. And then Charlie has got the time loop thing, which I'm definitely a fan of. Which I don't know if I knew that it was a time loop in the beginning, or if I had like definitely that trailer didn't make me think it was, but I think that maybe somewhere in my brain I recalled it from something.
You can imagine me watching her getting spritzed in the face and then falling, like busting her head, and me going,
and I mean, you just assumed it was another $1 Million Baby scenario.
Yeah, just like, man, this movie's short.
So who's gonna pull the plug?
And those trailers were misleading.
Clint Eastwood comes in to.
But I did like.
Who are you?
I did like that you mentioned that each day was kind of like a significant difference. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't, they didn't just rehash the exact same thing and try and like, because even though they kind of do it in Groundhog's Day, there is a large portion of the film that's very similar.
Yes.
And I still like that movie, but it's nice to make it seem like they do kind of move out. Tyler, going back, I'm gonna have to go with Charlie on this one. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. So who do you want to hear real thoughts from first, me or Charlie?
I want to hear real thoughts from you first.
Good, because my final thoughts are the freshest because I lied about all of them, except for the main character being, I mean, she wasn't a piece of shit, but
was any of the music good?
No, it was awful. It was
honestly
terrible. It was terrible, and it was so long.
You were saying that, and I was like, There was like at least 30 seconds
Dude.
of their music in that trailer.
Every single song was like at least 4 minutes long, and
They're
they
all
did
ballads.
and it sounded like they didn't even record it and EQ it in like a booth. It sounded like they recorded it on set and just said like, go ahead and use that.
It's real. It's raw.
And it was, oh my god! I was watching it with landlord Kevin, and by song 5, I'm surprised he didn't just leave. It was, and the flashbacks were probably the most confusing thing ever because they just played their younger selves
Nice.
with no makeup.
What year anniversary or reunion was this? 10 year?
Yeah, 10, I think.
Did they at least have bad hair?
But
Because that's like the biggest.
They
This was
looked.
the past
They
thing.
looked exactly the same.
They wore the same clothes.
That's the only difference is they wore different clothes. So much so that at one point, for her seeing him cheat on her thing, I thought that was happening in the present because I like looked at my phone once and then I like put my phone down and looked back up and that scene happened and then like I went back to my phone for a little bit and looked back up and then they were dancing together and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Didn't they just didn't she just catch him cheating on her?
Did they at least put a filter on it or anything?
No. Literally the only difference was change of wardrobe, and that's how I put it together that the cheating on was a flashback because I was like, wait, he was wearing a suit for a tux for some reason in
Did
that
it do a
flashback.
segue or anything? Like
No.
a wipe?
No.
So it just cut like,
Yes.
wow, that's crazy.
It just
Click,
goes-
hey, you got blah, blah, blah.
Yes, it just
Wow.
goes. It just goes to
Holy shit.
yeah.
That's poor planning. Is what
Yeah,
that is.
seeing was terrible.
It's
It was
edgy,
all. I don't really remember a lot of the movie. If we're gonna
You had too much of that punch.
yeah, exactly. That part was hilarious to me because
The football.
Football.
yeah, because the guy throws the football and sees that happen and like is high fiving all his friends, but he saw it happen to the girl. And
Right.
he's just apparently just totally ignorant about that happening to some. Like he's just like, oh man, what a throw! and yeah,
Wait, so you mean like he just wanted to throw a football into the punch and then it happened to hit that girl and he's like, oh.
yeah. No, it seemed like he didn't even notice or care that this punch went all over her,
Just that like
gotcha.
man.
or that it was her.
Yeah.
Like, and she knew it was him that threw the ball too. She
And
Yeah.
this
watched
is
it
is this
happen.
Gotcha.
before or after they were hooking up again?
Before.
Wow, she is
Well, and then she also
real
goes.
low
she,
standards.
no, and then
And
she goes. And then she
self-esteem
goes up
issues.
to him and is like, "Oh, hey, Jimmy, whatever."
Sorry, I got in the way of your football.
No, she's like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Who are you?"
Wow. And she's still
Ruthless.
Yeah, and,
she
and
still
she's
wants
like, "I'm Georgia Hunt," And he's like, "Oh,
Gun.
yeah."
Wait, is she not like covered in punch?
No, she is.
And
Yeah,
did-
the whole
did
movie.
Did they date through all of high school? And
Uh,
he just doesn't
They
remember.
probably did that in one take, dude.
his excuse for cheating was it's only
She was
physical.
hot.
It's only
And then she's
because
like,
that
"No,
works
we're
every
over.
single
We're
time.
over." And she goes, and he's like, "I can't believe you're really gonna break up with me on prom night."
Priorities.
I should beat the shit out of you.
So there are no critics reviews of this.
That yeah.
It's a 29% audience rating.
Oh.
I've got 1 star out of 5. Vapid,
Vapid.
brainless.
P?
Yeah,
Yeah, vapid.
vapid, brainless, and 0 entertainment factor. Half a star. Horrible ending. The most there's spelling errors in this. So the most popular girl leave the hot football star for the ugly nerd. WTF? It's slow movie 2. Sucks big time. I want
thought you were
my
gonna say big balls or something.
I want my hour
Big balls.
27 minutes back.
Well, can we talk about how that dude is not an ugly nerd? Like he played
No,
the
he's
hot
not.
guy in another film.
Well, he put ugly V nerd. So who knows? Maybe
Does he wear a really bad V-neck at some point?
I don't remember.
Like a deep, like
What
a
a V
too,
nerd.
like
then
a
I've got-
too deep V.
And then I've got a 3-star review that says it could have been a lot worse. Entertaining enough with a lot of random, probably unintentional funny moments.
Yeah.
So Charlie, what are your real thoughts? I figure
That
we
was
wrap this
that
up
was
soon.
the face of this movie was incredibly fine.
Yeah. It was I mean, honestly, it did go by very quickly. I was watching it, and next thing I knew, it was
Mine was
over
the
for
opposite.
the most part. And the funny parts that I mentioned, I really did laugh at, like that old lady just thinking she was a total failure because she didn't know what a spatula was. Because most people, that's like
that's
pass me a spoon.
Yeah, that's a real low
It's like she's-
low bar for the utensil tree.
Yeah, it's like she's like, pass me a microplane, please. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? But I didn't like. There are a few moments where she does get mad at people for. Or no, here's my biggest problem with the film. Sorry for the delay. I had to rethink this. Every reason for the most part that she falls in love with the guy about are based on false pretenses, because every time he talks to her, it's the first time, so he's always gonna put on like.
Yeah, be a little. Yeah.
Like she gets him in situations where he is more genuine because he doesn't necessarily think he's on a date some of the times, but it's still the first time you meet somebody.
Right.
So she's like, I'm in love with you. You don't even know the real person yet.
Yeah, he's trying to like impress. Like no matter who it is, he's trying to impress. Like it's still Amy Smart. He's still gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna try and impress Amy Smart here for a second.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, the time where she gets to the bar before the date happens, I think she's like, let's go do this, and they go and do whatever. It's like, wouldn't you also kind of think he's a piece of shit for then bailing on his
just
date?
Straight up ignoring you, who he was going to. That gets slightly complicated.
And then let's see. One other thing that I had written down that bothered me is on one of the days, once she knows that something's fucked up and she's just going to keep repeating the days, she goes out on, Saks Fifth Avenue, and she's
just burning through all her cash.
Burning through all her cash, and she spends a shit ton of money on all these bags of clothes and stuff. That's when she gives the homeless person the fur coat and then gets into her brand new Ferrari. It's like, how much cash do you have on you?
Yeah,
I saw
how
your
liquid
apartment.
are you?
Like, what the fuck? No way you just dropped like 250 G's.
Maybe she had a great credit score.
Yeah, maybe she just
sure.
went out and got like a bunch of loans.
Maybe. But that would take so long. Your day would be over.
That's a fair point.
So this has a 51% on Rotten Tomatoes audience, no critics as well.
I mean, I've seen much worse.
I'm going to start out with this half-star review. An absolutely terrible woman is enchanted by a televised brooch until she learns to be a decent human being.
Yeah, she is pretty terrible at the beginning. But actually, I didn't even mention this, but her subplot with the ex-boyfriend, she grows a lot from that. And that's probably the best subplot in the storyline, when she gets to the point where she's very accepting and just happy for him because he's engaged to somebody else.
Right underneath the lowest possible review is the highest possible review, 5 stars. Super cute movie about a lady who continues to repeat the 24th of December until fate decides the step in. That's how it's written. Until fate decides the step in.
I understand how fates work.
All three of them.
Well, I should have vetted this a little bit more because there is a racial slur in this
Can I read
review.
it?
Yeah, it's this 5-star review one right there. I don't know if I should say that out loud or if
I need to see this now.
it might
Wait,
be.
which one did you point to?
This one right here.
No.
I mean, I don't feel comfortable broadcasting me saying that.
I'll handle it. Super cute movie about a lady who continues to repeat the 24th of December until fate decides the step in. It's word that rhymes with the roast that is the most popular at Starbucks, Groundhog Day, but with the Christmas twist. Very entertaining and fun. That doesn't even make fucking sense.
What's the most popular roast?
Pike's roast or Pike's Place roast.
Oh, I don't go to Starbucks a lot. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I just know. I mean, it's in stores and all that stuff.
Well, I don't.
Pike's Place is the street that the first one was built on, I believe.
I've been to that one, even though.
So it's that word's Christmas movie.
Well, that word's Groundhog Day.
That's what it is.
But with Christmas twist. Okay.
So is there a menorah in this film?
No.
I like this one. Their review is 4.5 stars, and their word review is just 7.1 out of 10.
I wonder what that extra 0.1 was for.
Yeah, that's Stupid. And yeah,
Probably because it was. Thank God this wasn't one of
Yeah.
those Pike's Place roasts. Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if anyone needs me, I'm going to be going home to watch both of these immediately.
Okay, with that, I think we should wrap this up a little bit. Do we have anything else that we?
No.
I'm good.
All right, yeah, Steve, you want to do the old plugs here?
Let's see. We've got thanks to our Sexy Cousin podcast, Three Wise Media. Beyond the Blast Doors, the Star Wars podcast. You can go to them for anything Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars is coming out soon too. Yeah.
Yep. Then there's Good Bad or Bad Bad, the vodcast that is paired up with us, which then leads directly into This Film is Lit. Let's see. There's Critical Misadventure, the D&D podcast. And then thanks once again to Jeremy Lamb for the theme song, Scott Blackwell for all our visual media. And I do want to say that I don't know if it is being streamed, but I will be playing a Extra Life game day. It's going to be during the day, noon to I believe 6 on Friday, so the day after this cast comes out.
Extra Life or Second Life?
Extra Life.
Okay.
So
And what is that, Steve? What is Extra Life?
Extra Life is a charity that donates to children with I don't know if they're terminal disease, but the children that have diseases. And so it's,
Sorry, I was just like, because you paused after children with, and the first thing I thought of was that 30 Rock joke, the cleft palates thing.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's 30 Rock. Where
I
it's
don't
like,
remember.
no, that's in Community. It's like it's all charity for children with cleft palates.
anyway, no, but
Some good
it's
charity.
it's for children who have chronic diseases and things like that. So it's a charity for that. I think we're pretty much playing all for the children, Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital.
Cool.
But the traditional Extra Life is, I believe, usually in November, but we didn't have, like, it was a busy time for us, and I think a lot of the people that were going to be involved were out of the area.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing it now after finals.
Okay.
We're convening on Friday, and I believe it's going to be the pediatrics group, PPAG, from both SIUE College of Pharmacy and St. Louis College of Pharmacy. We're like coming together and doing a joint thing. If there is a stream and we are streaming it, I will try and find that and put it up on the Facebook.
Yeah, do it.
Yep.
That'd be cool.
And other than that,
Spread the word.
Yeah,
If-
no, we got a Instagram account that I've been posting stuff on too. Movie versus podcast for that as well.
I completely, actually, I don't think I said any of those for us. So movie, you can find us at Movie Versus Podcast with VS not versus on Twitter, at gmail.com if you want to get in touch with us, or on Facebook,
or now Instagram.
yeah, and now Instagram.
And with all that said, I guess we'll fade away into obscurity.
We already have.
Bye.
Movie Versus is a production of Three Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.